What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another FPL deadline stream. It is double game week time. It is double game week 20. Today, we are running up for the over 2 hours that we have between now and the deadline. Nice to see so many of you in. We'll be answering your questions. We'll be looking to see if there's any potential double game week announcements. We still potentially might get double game week 21 announcements. They still potentially might come. Pretty unlikely it seems now, but we will see. Any early team news, anything else that we get. We'll be talking about transfers, key targets, everything like that. Luke saying can't see me. I hope you can see me now. So yeah, we'll be going through all of that good stuff as usual. Before we dive into it, let's do the usual rounds of hellos. Say hello in the chat. Let me know if you are excited for the upcoming week. Let me know if you are nervous, a lot like me. I'm not necessarily looking forward to it. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a massively great game week for me. But say hello in the chat and drop a like on the stream as well. If we can knock off 100 likes just as the stream is getting started, that would be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, it's nice to see so many of you in. It's nice to have another FPL. It's nice to have another FPL deadline. So who have we got in and watching today? We have got Glenn, we've got Zach, we've got Quarry, we got Sen Extra, we got Hassan, we've got Zachary, we've got Joker, we've got Nijab, we've got Paul, we've got Azrael, we've got Jende, we've got Trini, we've got Lincoln, we've got Glenn, we've got Diemain, we've got Jan, Daniel, Magic. Hello, how are we doing? Cheekster, nice to see you in. Ivan, welcome to the members and moderators who are in today as well. FPL A+, FPL SP, FPL Flames, Michael Evans, King. So again, you might have seen the chat just jumped loads. I basically spoke to the people who make these things and they say they're working with YouTube because it's a known issue with it. So they're going to try and get it fixed. But yeah, 500 of you in here watching, and only 63 of you have liked the stream already. Come on, let's go. But you are all in here first. And again, as we always do, because you guys are in here first, drop your questions in early. We'll go through a lot of questions early on because you guys who come in early deserve to get your questions answered especially. So let's go through a few of those first, shall we? It is going very well, thank you. What do I think of Shaw in for Botman? If you don't have Shaw, I think he's a good option. I wouldn't buy him for a -4 though this week, especially at the expense of Sven Botman, who I also think is another really good asset that we should be considering buying this week. So I don't think I'd personally make that sideways switch. I'm going to take my glasses off because sometimes the green screen messes it up. So, what's my -8? We will get to my -8 in just a moment. Thank you all for 100 likes. Gosh, so many of you in here already. The deadline is causing a lot of panic and the press conferences today as well have absolutely not helped. Those of you who haven't had time to see the press conferences, what we've basically seen is Stones is not fit. Stones is not fit. Fantastic news. Exactly what I needed going into the deadline. No Stones. Martial will have a late fitness test. Darwin will have a late fitness test as well. For me, those two, it's difficult to know what to do with Martial and Darwin, and I'm sure we will get to discussing them in a minute. Tarek Mo says he's going to do Darwin, Cancelo, Mount out. Yeah, 3 transfers I made. Kane, Botman, Mahrez for -8. 3 transfers very, very similar to what I'd be making at the moment. Will Ake outscore Mitrovic? That's quite close. I'd probably just about favour the double game week player there, but there's not that much in it. You need a reliable City defender. Well, I can do my best to tell you one. I think it's almost impossible to predict one. If I had to pick a Manchester City defender, I would go for Nathan Ake. It would have been John Stones. Like, you know who it would be? It would be John Stones. So for anyone who doesn't know what happened with John Stones, I'm going to try and keep my cool while explaining the story. Basically, on about I think Monday evening, Harry Kane was predicted to rise in price. I had the exact money to do my transfers, which was Cancelo to John Stones and Mitrovic to Harry Kane. So I did it, right? I took a gamble. Stones is their number one defender. I had the money. I did it early, right? I wanted Kane. I knew I wanted him. Knew the -4 was theirs. And Kane, fine. Kane still hasn't risen in price, bear in mind. And now Stones is injured. So the whole thing has gone horribly, horribly wrong. A few questions coming in. Eriksen more nailed than Mahrez. Also thoughts on Mahrez over KDB. Eriksen's probably slightly more nailed, but I just like what Mahrez can do in game weeks 20 and 21. And I'll go over that in a minute. No worries, I'll answer all your questions. Would I leave my girlfriend for a number 1 FPL rank? Yeah. I think that's almost a certainty. No, I wouldn't, of course. How's it going? Is it too risky to captain Rashford when people probably triple captain Haaland? There will be a lot of questions about captaincy in the chat. For me, it is captaincy on Erling Haaland. I think Rashford's good, but I still think Erling Haaland, the way Manchester City need to perform in these games, I can't look past him. I cannot look past him. Thank you, Luke, for joining as a base tier member. Of course, there are 2 tiers of memberships that will fade around the top in just a moment. We have base tier where you just get all the benefits on the videos, in the live streams. You get all your questions answered. And then the top tier where you also get access to my DMs where I help you sort of all throughout the week, tell you about my team, etc. in a little bit more detail. So not just during the streams, not just on videos. We chat in Twitter as well. So Krishna said Saka flagged. I was as surprised as you when I loaded this up to get the stream ready and there was a yellow flag on Saka. I have no idea why there is a yellow flag on Saka. I have absolutely no idea why there is a yellow flag on Saka at the moment, if I'm completely honest. He came off with a limp. Well, he came off in the cup match midweek, and then we've been told that he's fine. So I'm very surprised that it is as it is, but I think he's fine. Tony confirmed to be fit. Yes, Ivan Toney has been confirmed to be fit. Is my missus behind me? Is she making me say it? Yeah. Is Akanji, is that a mistake? To be honest, Akanji versus Ake is very 50-50. Like, I think Ake can play a couple of positions. I think I basically can't pick between them. I'm going Ake just because he has more positions. He's slightly less nailed in each of his positions, but adding the 2 positions together, he's probably slightly more nailed. Saka got knocked and came off in the FA Cup, but he's fine. But which is why I'm confused why they bothered to add the flag, given that Arteta literally said he will be fine. Or I think he said he is fine. But yeah. Ward or Kepa, I have gone back and forth on this decision so many times. And for anyone who saw on Twitter, basically I hate the pair of them at the moment. I have absolutely no idea who to start every week. Kepa and Chelsea have been truly dreadful. But he is the home goalkeeper out of the 2. So yeah. Jen, nice to see you in. Member and moderating. -4, yeah. -8, yeah. So I'm already on a -4 involving bringing in John Stones. It was a bad decision, right? I made a mistake bringing in John Stones. But if he's back for the Spurs game, sick. If not, hopefully he'll be back for Wolves at home. If he's not back for that, then fantastic. And I've got Patterson as well. So I only have 3 fit defenders. Nice haircut, by the way. I haven't actually been for a haircut. I really need one. So maybe you like my hair longer. Thanks, Magic. But Stone confirms out. He's not confirmed out for both of the double game week fixtures. He's confirmed, well, Pep said he's not ready for this weekend. Pep said he's not ready for this weekend, is what he said. Let me just up that a little bit so I can actually answer all your questions. You always warned us with mid-game week transfers. I do always warn you. I just had the money in the bank that I needed to. Stones has been their number 1 defender, and he just went and got injured, didn't he? But is what it is. Mitro to Nketiah, or just go Martial and hope. So before I answer that, I want to talk a little bit about the double game weeks. for the double game weeks is there is still possibility that the game week 22 double comes after the deadline and that they announce it once Leeds reach the next round. So I would still probably just about favour. I'd go Martial if we don't get a double game week announcement before the deadline over in Ketia is the way I'd go. Thank you for the super chat. Gina, thank you for yours. Darwin, Foden and James to Kane, Odegaard and Lewis for -4. Can keep Foden and do Bueno instead of Lewis for no hit. I don't think Lewis is worth a -4. I don't think he will start both games in the double game week, personally. Thinking of slapping Bueno in for Stones as Wolves have a nice fixture against West Ham, to be fair. Yeah, I'm not against it. And actually, I looked at my team and I was suddenly like, should I be considering playing Ben White over John Stones? Maybe I should, but I'm just going to keep it as is. If Patterson was fit, maybe I would go for him. Those of you asking about Martial, in the press conference he said he's trained this morning. We'll have to see how he reacts and whether he can be available for tomorrow. So they don't have Weghorst available yet, so they kind of need him. So my prediction would be Martial. He'll definitely start Palace, I think, hearing what was said. So I wouldn't be too worried if you do own Martial. Would I be buying him? If I was buying him, would I buy him? Probably just about still, I would say yes, I would buy him. Would I say Kane is a must-have? No, I wouldn't say Kane's a must-have. No. I just think, as I've said, a little cup of tea, as I said in my videos, and I've said a few times as well, I think this week is a great week to use as an excuse to go and buy Harry Kane. He's got a double game week, and we all realise how good Kane's been so far this season. If Haaland's not there, we're looking at Kane as essential, right? It's how it is, and we are captaining Kane a lot of the time if Haaland's not there. So, yes, just under 2 hours to the deadline, guys. 1,300 of you watching, and only 100 of you have liked the stream. Please don't leave it for someone else. It helps. It helps the stream out a lot. Drop a like. If you haven't subscribed as well, we're chasing 42,000 subscribers today. We're about 100 away. There's probably 100 of you in here already who aren't subscribed. So make sure you've liked the video and you've subscribed if you haven't already. So, if I was buying him, I'd buy him. What a top quote that is. Would I keep Foden and do Darwin and James to Kane and Bueno? Darwin and James to Kane and Bueno feels like a simple transfer. Simple transfer. Triple captain Haaland. So you made me put my tea down. That's such a... Haaland triple captain. For me, it's a no. The games are just too difficult. There will be better options, I think, like more plum double game weeks. Even if... Like, I'd rather triple captain Kane in an easy double game week than play it on Haaland this week. I think people are... Because Haaland's been so good, people are so focused that it has to be played on him. So I'm not looking at playing it on Haaland this week. Let's see the form that City are in going into the game week 23 double, because I do have Villa at home as part of that. So I would consider playing it as part of that one. But I'm just not... It's not even... I'm not considering playing it this week, to be honest. Best City defence to bring in. If I had to predict, I'd say Ake, but move Stones. Well, I don't really have a choice. I'm just going to start Stones. I'm not taking a hit to take him out. My thoughts on Martial, I definitely hold. If you are looking for a striker, because they could double in game week 22 again, I probably would take the gamble on him. I probably would, but... Tony is the other one. Tony, a lot of you in the chat are asking about Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney, they've said that he's going to be fit. They've said that he's available for the weekend. So there's no reason why I think Tony won't play. Of course, you do have the issue that at some point they might turn around and say, yep, Ivan Toney's banned. He can't play again for the rest of the season because of the betting scandal. That is possible and that could come at some point. But I wouldn't necessarily let it put you off buying him. Would I buy Tony or would I buy Martial looking at where we're at? I think the double will come in 22, so I think I would just about go Martial. But that feels like quite risky, and it feels like I'm in a risky mood this week because of the transfers I am making. So, yeah, Let me... Give me 2 seconds. So, Kepa, Cancelo, Trent, Greenwood to Edison, Botman, Shaw, Kane. I mean, they're all good transfers. They're all good transfers. So, yes, I would do those. Sorry, 1 second. Give me 2 secs. Where are we? Martial to Gakpo, definitely. Wouldn't be buying Gakpo even without Nunes. I wouldn't be buying Liverpool assets at the moment. Let me just click go live on TikTok. There we go. Which, if either of these would I do? KDB in for Salah. KDB in for Salah. I don't think it's worth a -4. I definitely don't think it's worth a -4. Maybe for free, but definitely not for a -4. As your free transfer, or Mahrez in for Salah and Kane for Darwin. Kane for Darwin, because you need to get rid of Darwin, I think. I don't think Darwin's going to play this week. I don't think Darwin's going to play. So I would do the second one. I would take the -4. Who's more essential, Kane or KDB? I'd probably go... who's more essential? It depends who else you've got from City, but I'd probably just about go Harry Kane. Oh, my nose is itching. What are my planned transfers? So, I think I'm going to take one more -4 and I'm going to move sideways from Mason Mount to Riyad Mahrez as my second transfer. That's what I think I'm going to do between now and the deadline. Darwin to Tony for a -8 or for an extra transfer, for an extra hit. I probably would. I think you need to sell Darwin, to be honest. I don't think Darwin's going to start. I'm not sure Darwin's going to start, to be honest, so I would probably move him out. Planning for Mount to Mahrez, yes, I think so. Guys, if you have not liked the stream already, make sure you have done. And if you have not subscribed or followed, make sure you please do so. Your show is the best. I appreciate it. Kane is a good transfer, but he's on a yellow card away from suspension. Yeah, but it is his last card. Like, he is his last game. So if he doesn't get booked here, that'll be it. Like, it will reset. So... Saka is as well is the only thing. My team is in pieces, man. I'm not looking forward to this week. I honestly, I think it'd be a miracle if I come out of this with a green arrow. Why not De Bruyne? Because the only way I can get to De Bruyne is by selling Salah. And if I look at combinations of players, which is of course what I've got to go and do, I can have Salah and Mahrez or Mount and De Bruyne. And for me, Salah and Mahrez is a better combination of players than Mount and De Bruyne. I just don't want any Chelsea players anymore. I'm hating watching my team enough at the moment that I don't really want to be going and having any of them in my FPL team at the moment. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. What makes me sold on Mahrez? So let me just talk you through a little bit about my future transfer plans for my team. And it will become clear. Zaha for Martinelli. No, I wouldn't do that. You don't really want. I wouldn't be buying Palace players this week. Chelsea doing well. Yeah, we're doing really well. So Mitrovic and you out, and we went for... Do I have to put him in? Can I not buy someone else? John Stones, and the other one is Harry Kane. So when I do Mount to Mahrez, as well, looking at how my team then lines up for next week, Mahrez has a nice fixture at home to Wolves, right? If let's say I'm pretty confident that Mahrez is going to start tomorrow. If he then we get to a situation that the Spurs game comes around and he doesn't start that. Yeah, FPL ID an exact 1,000. That is cool. I thought it was anyway. Anyway, sorry, my phone just rang. My phone just rang. If it gets to the point that he doesn't start Spurs, then he should start Wolves, and that's fine. And then I could roll the transfer. He'll probably leave my team going into game week 22 against Spurs. So I'm quite happy with him. I don't necessarily think he's going to be a long-term hold for me. I think I might just keep him for 2 game weeks. That's where I'm at with it. So I don't mind it. I just, let me know in the comments which combination do you think's better? Would you go Salah and Mahrez or Mount and De Bruyne? For me, it's Salah Mahrez, but let me know if you disagree with that. Ward or Ramsdale? I wouldn't start Ward and if you have any excuse not to start Ward or Kepa, then I'd probably not. If you have both of them, good luck with me. Start Mitro or Almiron. I'd probably start Almiron. Their fixture is... I prefer to have something from Newcastle than I would from Fulham, I think. But Fulham put Chelsea to the sword yesterday, so yeah, let's wait and see on that. Do a poll, Harry. Yeah, maybe that's best. De Bruyne and Mahrez. Well, I can't go to De Bruyne and Mahrez. Mount, KDB. Poll for combination. Salah Mahrez all day. I agree. Let me put it as a poll. Start a poll. Which is better? Salah and Mahrez. KDB and Mount. Long term KDB, João Felix. Oh, I don't want to talk about João Felix. I don't want to talk about it. Did I miss a super chat? Foden tomorrow is for -4 or hold Foden. I'd probably hold Foden. Apologies, gender. I missed it earlier. Foden or KDB? KDB 100%. 100%. Is Zaha a good choice? I would not be buying in any Crystal Palace players this game week. So yeah, I wouldn't be doing that. Harry, I accidentally used your free hit. What would be your team if I had my free hit right now? Well, I just have loads of double game week players. I'd basically put them all in. So I'd have triple United, I'd have triple City, I'd have probably triple Spurs. There's no real good single game week fixture. So yeah, heard that red card cost 2.3 million. It's so sad, but I can't disagree. Martial is flagged, yeah, because he has a slight knock. They're having a late fitness test on him, basically. He did train this morning, and they're going to see how he reacts and whether he's going to be available for the session for the game, which is tomorrow morning. It doesn't bode that well because of how early the game is. In the game week, if it was Sunday, I'd have more hope that he might be available to play. But can I answer the question? Kepa to Edison and Cancelo to Botman for a -4. Hello, Eddie. How are we doing? Kepa to Edison and Cancelo to Botman for a -4. I probably would do that, to be honest. I probably would do that. Did I triple captain? No, so I will not be triple captaining this week. I understand that a lot of you might be considering it, but personally, I just don't think it's for me. I don't think it's for me this week. Triple captaincy. I just think that the 2 games are too difficult for Man City to be wanting to put the triple captaincy on them. Is where I'm at with it. Thoughts on Trent? Should I keep him? I mean, no, but I wouldn't use a -4 to sell him before Brighton, but I don't think I'd want to be keeping him long term. Is worth taking a minus hit this week. So let me get something up. So I posted a poll on Twitter yesterday evening being like, where do you think you'll be come the FPL deadline? No hits was 31%. So this has had 11,000 votes in it. It's about the most voted in poll I think I've ever put out. But anyway, 31% of people are taking no hit, which means 70% of people are taking at least 1 hit this week. 40% taking a -4. 25, so 1 in 3 people are taking at least a -8 There are big hits to be taken this week, which is why I'm not too worried about the -8 that I'm taking this week. It will put me behind people. The average will probably be -4. So I wouldn't worry. But if you're looking at if you're looking to take hits this week, I definitely would consider it. I definitely would consider it. If you guys have not already, we are 150 subscribers away from 42,000 on YouTube. So if you haven't already, please make sure to please make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and make sure to have liked the stream if you have not done that as well either. So let's do some rapid fire questions. What City defender to bring in? If I had to predict, I'd go Ake, but I'd look at your team in game week 21 and basically work out what defender you think is best for your team there, because I don't think City will keep 2 clean sheets this game week. So I wouldn't worry about not having a City defender if you don't have one. Do I think it's worthwhile to take a second hit Stones to Ake? No, I don't. Because once Stones is back, he's still the best one that we could be had. Saka out. Saka will be fine, I think. Wilson versus Tony. I'd probably go Ivan Tony, to be honest. Brentford do look in a really good moment. Salah, Saka, Darwin to De Bruyne, Odegaard, Kane for a -4. Salah, Saka, Darwin to De Bruyne, Odegaard, Kane for a -4. If you need the money for from Salah to De Bruyne, then fine. If not, just do the other two. But Saka to Odegaard and Darwin to Kane, I quite like. The way Harry pauses most times, I think my internet is lagging. I do it when I'm reading a comment, and then I just did it then again. I do it when I'm reading a comment, or I see something else in the chat, or I'm thinking about something. I just stop and I don't move as well. So people then think, and with this chat freezing on the other side, I can understand why people might think that's exactly what's going on. All the best. How are we doing? Anthony versus Mahrez. Anthony's an interesting one, especially if they're going to double. But the fixture in game week 21 is much better for City. So over the next 2, I would back Mahrez, I think. I would back Mahrez. Lewis versus Ake versus Akanji. If I'm given a City defender, it's Ake at the moment. I think it's Ake. I don't love them, and actually I don't necessarily think you need a City defender. I definitely wouldn't be taking a hit to bring in a City defender this week. Would I play Bueno or White? Probably just about Bueno, but that's because I've got Harry Kane in my team and I want him to do well. Perisic versus Ake. To be honest, probably Perisic. I probably favour Perisic there, but just the attacking threat. But I don't necessarily think there'll be a clean sheet for them. Why John Stones? It's such a painful question. It is such a painful question. I can't lie. It hurts me to the core every time I have to talk about that man, John Stones. But I brought him in before he got injured this week for a -4. It's gone really well. It's gone really, really well. Is Darwin injured? He's got a knock, basically. So he might. There's a chance he plays, but I think he probably won't. Love you, Harry. I appreciate it, Stephen. Stefan. Is Saka out? No, Saka will be fine. Wan-Bissaka or Malacia? Neither of them. I wouldn't buy either of them. Would not buy either of them. Hit for Darwin to Tony. I mean, it depends who's coming off your bench, but I wouldn't want Darwin in my team at the moment, to be honest. Chill Gamer, no worries. Start Gabriel or Stones? Start Gabriel or Stones? Well, I've got the same with White or Stones. I'm going to still start Stones because when the next fixture comes around, I still just about back the City clean sheet over backing an Arsenal clean sheet, I think there. That's where I'm at. FPL Focus, welcome. Nice to see you in. Triple captain on Haaland. It's a no for me. I'm not going to be doing it. I just think there are going to be better doubles for him or for someone else later down the line. And I want a plum double to play my triple captaincy on. We only get to play it once a year. Take another hit to take out Trossard to Zaha. I would be taking out Trossard, but I wouldn't be buying Zaha. I would take out Trossard for a hit, but I wouldn't be buying Zaha. Hi, Nuclear. How are we doing? Is Cancelo out? So, João Cancelo. If you guys have got Cancelo in your teams, I would be selling him this week, even for free. I wouldn't sell him for a hit unless you need the money, to be honest. I wouldn't do it for a hit unless you need the money. But I cannot see Cancelo starting 2 games at all. Like, I would put my money on him not starting both. I'd be surprised if he starts one at the way that he's playing at the moment. So, and the way that Pep is going about his business at the moment. So, thank you for joining as a member. So I need to end this poll. You guys favour just about Salah Mahrez, but it's pretty close. Chabra, thank you for joining as a member. Of course, we have 2 membership tiers here on FPL Harry. One just for the $1.99, which just helps you on the live streams, gets your questions answered when you tune in, and then the top tier, which gets you answered your questions all throughout the week, sort of more one-to-one support on your team. Cancelo, Havertz, Almiron to Shaw, Kane, Mahrez. Cancelo out, Havertz out, yeah. I would do that, even for a -8. Trent or Cancelo, Shaw, -8, or Ben White, -4. Shaw needs to be in your team for the long term, so I would just take the plunge now. So, did someone already ask your thoughts on Doherty? They didn't, actually. 500 likes on the stream. You guys are the best. I didn't even have to ask. Not even once. My thoughts on Doherty. Spurs defence, the issue is like, I don't think anyone here is predicting a clean sheet at home to Arsenal or away at Manchester City. So you're basically banking on attacking returns from them, which, I mean, you could try, but then they do play City again in, like, defensive. This is not a good defensive run. Pick defenders with clean sheet as their number 1 route to points, and that is not a Spurs defender at the moment. You've taken -4 to get rid of Cancelo and Mitrovic for Kane and Botman. Nice. So, what I would say for people is people buying Botman as their cheap option. I posted it on Twitter. I just froze again. I posted it on Twitter. Newcastle have a reasonable chance of having a blank game week in game week 25. Game week 25 is the EFL Cup final. If Newcastle knock out Southampton in the Cup, they will have a blank game week, right? And that's fine. It's likely to be Newcastle versus Manchester United in the final. Sorry, someone called Leaked Lineup. Someone's gone to the extent to create a YouTube name called Leaked Lineups, and he's saying Stones starts. I love it. I love the commitment there. Stones is not going to play tomorrow, but what was I talking about? Yeah, so like their fixtures between now and then are good. Like they've got they could easily keep 3 clean sheets in these 4, but you've got to consider they might then have. You might get to game weeks 24 and have Liverpool blank City. That's just what I would bear in mind. Now, it might work. You might have a strong enough bench to cover that, and that's absolutely fine. But it's just worth keeping an eye on. It's just worth keeping an eye on that is a potential blank in there for Newcastle. So, potential transfers. Yeah, so going back to my transfer plans, my team looks fine for next week. I really think there's a decent chance that I'd roll my transfer for next week. Because if Stones is out still, I may end up selling him. I may end up selling Stones next week, but by next week we'll know the Manchester United fixtures. But I don't think I'll double up on their defence yet. But yeah, I don't necessarily think many of us will need a transfer next week. So I'm quite happy to take a punt on Mahrez. And if I don't think he's going to start Wolves, then I can sell him. When did I bring in Stones? I thought cautious money, you will wait for him. Yeah. Very out of character to be making a transfer like bringing in John Stones. I made it on, I think, Monday evening when there was a predicted price rise for Harry Kane. I had the exact, so you can see I've got no money in the bank. I had the exact money to do Cancelo to Stones and then Mitrovic to Harry Kane for -4, and I did it. It is out of character. It is not really how I play, but we will bounce back, hopefully. Suggestions, 2 transfers remaining. You want to fit Kane in your team replacing Nunes, but you're 1.1 million short with Cancelo and Mount in your team. So you've got 2 free transfers. I mean, it depends. Do you have... Mount out is easy. Like, Mount to Odegaard, I think... No, you can't quite afford it with that. If you've got triple Arsenal in your team already, then you don't need to do Mount to Odegaard. I would probably sell Cancelo first because I think he's rubbish now. I think he's an awful asset to be owning in the moment. I would be selling him pretty much straight away. I'd rather keep Mount for Palace at home. I'd rather keep Mount than Cancelo. So I would, yeah, do it that way around. I would downgrade Cancelo to someone basically 6 mil or under, and there are a lot of options in at that price. While am I starting Ward over Kepa? Again, Ward versus Kepa is a pretty close call between them. I am just going with the home goalkeeper a little bit. It feels very 50-50 to be honest. Ward away at Forest though. Forest have been pretty good at home. They don't score loads of goals, but they've been much better at home than they have been away from home this season. We are 140 subscribers away from our target of 42,000 for today. Any support is welcome. So, is Foden a good differential instead of De Bruyne or Mahrez? Again, I can't see Foden starting both in the double, but I think that's the same for a lot of City players. And us looking to buy City assets at the moment, this is the big concern that we have, is how many of them are going to start the double. I'm outside of Haaland, De Bruyne, Ederson, I'm not sure I can confidently say that any of their other assets are going to be starting both of the 2 games in the double game week. Shaw out for Cancelo. Don't be bringing in Cancelo. If it's the other way around, which sometimes it is, Shaw in, yeah, I don't mind that. He's more expensive than Botman though, so I'd probably just go Botman. Will Saka start? Yeah. Arteta said he'll be fine, so please don't go selling Saka. As Sang Brotherhood says, don't forget to smash that like button. Mount to Anthony. Mount out. It seems that's something we need to do. Pep has only praised Mahrez, right? He said nice things about him. He's won Player of the Month, I think, at City. So it's perfect timing for Pep to change his mind and say you're not playing again for 6 months, like he does to him. But I do think I'm going to be taking a gamble on him for a couple of weeks. Go just. Salah to De Bruyne, or he has praised Ake too. He has praised Ake too, for sure. That's why I quite like Ake as an option. Sorry, one second. Thank you to all the new subscribers that we've had today. Sorry, Antonio, Hack, Omar, J Bin. Thank you all for subscribing. Ricardo, Francisco, M, Shane. Thank you guys for subscribing today. Salah, De Bruyne, -4. Salah to De Bruyne is absolutely not worth a -4. Please, especially with Darwin out, someone might actually be able to finish the chances that Salah creates. Or maybe it's going to be Salah. Maybe it's going to be Salah that's scoring the chances. Hopefully, I'm not taking a -4 to do Salah to Bruyne. That is definitely not. Mount is an asset I'm happy to get rid of. I think. So I've got no problems with that. Start Botman or Martinelli. I'd start Martinelli. Newcastle defence is great, but they are playing a Fulham side that have scored a lot of goals at the moment. Need to put some respect on that Fulham attack, and it's not such a plum defensive fixture, I don't think. It's good. I think there's goals in Fulham games, but I don't think there is... I don't think there's necessarily clean sheets against them. What are my plans? So I've already taken a -4, which brought in John Stones and Harry Kane. I brought in John Stones before he was injured, so yeah, I wouldn't be doing that. And then I am planning on doing Mount to Riyad Mahrez, and this would put me on a -8. Let me put a poll in the chat again. How many hits am I going to be on? Let's see what you guys are saying. Because I put it up on Twitter. I don't know if I've got the poll. Yeah, so I did this. 11,000 votes. Let me just refresh it. 11,000 votes. And 30% of people said they won't take a hit. Which means 70% of people are taking at least a -4 this week. 70% of people taking at least a -4 this week. Which is crazy. Would I do Lewis to Bueno to free up 0.1 for Kane? You already have Walker. I'll probably just go Bueno. How are we doing, Trophy? Saka, Martinelli, Trippier. Which of these three would I bench? I mean, you can't bench. Like, it probably needs to be Saka, but the only one with a slight doubt, like, by process of elimination. I already told you, I know, Quarry. But hopefully there are new people in here. Yeah, it's interesting to see how many people are on hits. In the stream, -4 is really popular. Again, it's the same in the stream. 21% of you are rolling a transfer or not taking a hit. It's crazy high this week. You want to be one of those guys in a position to roll this week. Imagine being in a position where you are rolling a transfer this week. Could never be me. Could never be me. Preston, how are we doing? Let me get my team back up for you all. I'm going to make my transfers in not too long, but I think there's a okay amount of possibility that we get a double game week announcements like coming at 6 o'clock. Like if it's going to come, it's going to be at 6 o'clock now, and I'm not going to make my transfers before then because it might change slightly what I want to be doing with them. So that's what I'm going to wait for. I think there is a small chance that they come at 6 o'clock. I think it's unlikely, but can't afford Kane in for Darwin. Who can I get in place of Darwin? He's 100% out. He's not 100% out, but I would probably sell him. I was going to say they play Chelsea next week, but that's not actually a bad. It's not actually a bad move, to be honest. But I would sell Darwin. I quite like Tony. I quite like Callum Wilson as well. They're probably the two. Isaac is back, but Ben. How are you rolling? How are you rolling? 6 o'clock double game week announcement to break the servers. It would break the servers if that happened. Am I crazy for wanting to keep Cancelo when Stone's injury and how good we know Cancelo is? I mean, I think Cancelo plays a maximum of 1 and 2. But with Cancelo, don't sell him unless you need the money this week. If you don't need the money, then wait, because we might have Manchester United double game week coming up, and then you just sell him and go and get Luke Shaw or Diego Dallo or one of these centre backs. If you guys are buying a Manchester United defender this week, to be honest, it's Luke Shaw or none of them, to be completely honest. I don't think we're going to get 2 starts out of Luke Shaw. Sorry, out of Diego Dallo. I don't think Diego Dallo will play both. And then the centre backs, you could go Martinez, who's cheap, probably should start both, but I don't know if it's worth it for one of the centre-backs, to be honest. All that talk about Kane, what about Son? The issue with Son is you are gambling that he's returning to form off one game. People did that earlier in the season where he came off the bench and scored a hat-trick against Leicester, and then he was quiet again since, and now he scored again, and people are thinking, oh, he's going to be back. It's just not worth the risk at his price. If he was 7-8 million, then fine. But not at his price and the way that he's performing for the majority of the season. So no, I don't think I would be buying Son. Is Cancelo to Ake worth a -4? Only if you're going to invest the money elsewhere. If you're just going to do that for a transfer this week, I'd probably just play Cancelo. It's generally my opinion on Cancelo. Sell Cancelo for free, absolutely fine. Cancelo for a hit only if you're going to sell someone else and you need that money, right? So if you do Cancelo down and upgrade someone to Harry Kane, fine. But if you're not going to do that, then it's not worth it. Then it's not worth it. Thank you all. We are only 100 subscribers away from our goal of 42,000. Hopefully we can hit that by the end of the stream, which would be amazing. What do I think of Cancelo, Mount and Andreas to Ake, Rashford and Mahrez? I quite like those, Elliot, to be honest. Free hit. So actually, I've been asked more about the free hit this week than I thought I would. Sorry, my chair is quite uncomfortable today. I've been asked more about the free hit than I actually thought I would be going into this week. Would I definitely say no to a free hit? I think so. I just think it's so much more valuable later on. There will be doubles, quite a few doubles going later on in the next few, well, between now and the end of the season. There'll also be a blanking game with 25. There'll be a big blanking game with 28. There'll probably be another blank towards the end of the season caused by the later stages of the FA Cup. So I wouldn't be playing a free hit. There are enough other opportunities between now and the end of the season that I think your free hit becomes more valuable than it is now. Even if you've only got 4 or so players, because a lot of the transfers that we're making for this double game week as well are beneficial to our teams long term, right? City have a double in game week 23, so if you're buying City assets, you're going to hold them for that. Manchester United assets buying, great. Harry Kane buying, great. I don't think it's I definitely don't think it's time for a free hit this week. Tony will be banned soon. Well, I think the text is coming. I think the announcements is coming at some point, but I don't exactly know when it's going to be. So I wouldn't necessarily put it off you buying him, but I just think it's going to have to be announced at some point. I think it's going to have to be announced at some point. It's frozen again. Sorry. Am I going to bring in KDB for game week 23? I might possibly do it for game week 23. Again, I might have a look at how City are performing at the time, whether Mahrez can still work, whether I can go for someone else. So my plan is maybe KDB for 23 once I've had a time to deal with some of the other rubbish players in my team at the moment, but he's not coming in this week. You took a -4 to bring in Stones. Should I take another -4 to take him out? No, please don't sell Stones for a -4. The more I look at it, the more I don't want. There are no defenders that I think are really worth -4s this week. The only reason I would say sell Cancelo is because you might need the money to go and do something elsewhere. I don't look at any defenders this week and think it's worth taking a hit for. There will be someone that does well and is worth having for a -4, but I think it's too difficult to predict. Nate, thank you very much for for upgrading your membership to a top tier tipster. Thank you very much for joining. Drop me a DM on Twitter and I will get you added to the group chat straight after this stream. If you could send a screenshot of you joining, that would be fantastic on the membership page. But welcome to the channel. So, Cancelo to Ake. Cancelo to Ake, Mitrovic to Kane, and Salah to KDB, all for -8. I suppose you need the money to get Kane, but I don't like buying. I don't like buying KDB for Salah for a -4 unless you really need the money, to be honest. But if you need the money for it, then go for it. If you need the money out of that transfer, then fine. If you're that close and that's the best way to get it, then fine. What are my moves now? So I think Mount's going to have to go, and I think I basically don't have much choice. It is Mahrez or Grealish that could come in his place. I think I'm going to take Mahrez because of the minutes that he played during the week. Will, how are we doing? Great work. Channel is super helpful. Appreciate it. Ake or Kanji selling Cancelo to Nunes to Kane. I'd probably just about go Ake over Kanji. Again, I can see this flying in all over the chat. Elias, Reza, Omar, If I'm buying a City defender now, it would probably be Ake. It would probably be Ake, but it's very difficult to predict. But that would be where I would go. Kulusevski looks like he's going to be available. Whether he's going to start or not, we don't quite know, but he should be enough to make the bench. I wouldn't buy him for this double, though, because he has had, injury issues. Whether they rush him back to play both games, I don't know whether that's necessarily going to be the case. So I think I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't buy him, but if you've got Kulusevski, I would keep him, and I would probably start him. -8 decision, Dalot to Shaw or Mount to Mahrez. Mount to Mahrez, definitely. You might get Dalot starting one of the two and coming off in the other. Oh, actually no, he might be all right when the Palace fixture comes around. So I'd probably do the Mount one. You've already taken a -4. I have, and I'm going to be taking another transfer closer to the FPL deadline. So yes, I've already taken a -4. Cancelo to Ake for a -4. So again, not to bang on about it, and I will answer some other questions in a moment. But with the City defenders, Ake is my number one. Only sell Cancelo, downgrade if you need the money elsewhere. For free, fine, do it, whatever you like. For a hit, only do it if you want the money to be used elsewhere. Again, reminder, trying to hit subscriber goal, trying to hit like goal, if you have not already. Start Mitrovic or Shah. I'd start Mitrovic. I think we need to respect that Fulham attack a little bit. They do look very good. Mitrovic back is only going to improve them from what we saw in the match on Thursday evening. So, whom to sell? Salah for Mahrez. Who to sell for Mahrez? Martinelli, Almiron, Salah or Rashford. I wouldn't sell any of them. I don't think Mahrez is that needed. To be honest, I don't think Mahrez is that needed. I think he's a fine option if you've got like Mount, but Mitro out for Martial for a hit? Absolutely not. Already on a -12? No. Fella, is it a -8 or a -12? I'm on a -4 at the moment, so it will be a -8 once I make my second transfer. It will be a -8 when I make my second transfer. Cancelo to Ake and Mitrovic to Kane. Yeah, again, if you need the money, then yes, I would do that for -4. If I could go back, would I still do Cancelo to Ake, Mitrovic to Kane and Mount to Mahrez? I probably would. There's not that much more I could do. Martial I might have considered, but he's not going to be available, so I don't think I would go there. So would it be Ake or would it be a different defender? It probably would end up being Ake, but why is no one talking about Son? Because they are basically relying on one match for him to have become a good asset again. And I have no idea why that is. And they are playing Arsenal and Man City in their double. And they play Man City again 2 weeks later. So I wouldn't be buying Son based off one game. Thank you, Kashik, Kevin, Asif, Jordan, Safdar, and Chris, all for subscribing to the channel. We've got just over 1 hour until the FPL deadline. Nice to see you all in. Again, this game week is causing absolute havoc. We'll be here until the deadline. I'm already on a -4. I will be confirming other transfers once 6 o'clock hits and we see if there's any final last minute news of a double game week. No one is talking about Son because of his form and too expensive. Exactly. Thoughts on this -8? Would I do Shaw, Kane, De Bruyne and Cancelo for Salah? For Cancelo, Salah, Darwin? Yes. I mean, selling Cancelo and Darwin as part of a hit is absolutely fine. Triple captaincy is a no from me. I wouldn't do triple captaincy this week. There's going to be much better double game weeks with a much better combination of fixtures. So yeah, I wouldn't be doing a -8. I would not. I wouldn't be doing triple captaincy. Sorry, I'm muddling my words up sometimes. Bring in a Spurs defender or a City one. City. No defender is worth a -4 on its own this week. Only if you need the money to go and do something else. Only if you need the money to be doing something else. Let's turn down slow mode so we can speed up the chat a little bit more. Rashford captain. So again, captaincy is quite an interesting one. So when my captaincy ranking comes round again in just a minute. I do have Haaland top, and I do think he's the best captain for us this week. Erling Haaland. I do think he would be the one that I would be going on, and it's the one I'll be captaining. Rashford is good, but I just think that Manchester City bounce back is going to come at some point. I like what... Sorry, what exactly am I saying here? What exactly are my points that I'm holding on my fingers? Rashford is fine. Without Martial, I don't think they will look as good. He scored 2 off the bench. It was against weak opposition right during the week. Haaland and Manchester City will need to bounce back, and I think they're going to do something against these teams. Is it enough to triple captain him? Probably not, because I think there'll be plumber double game weeks between now and the end of the season that I would just about prefer, I think, is where I'm at with it. So it's a no for triple captaincy. Here we go, captaincy up there. Kane next. Again, Kane's 4 yellows means he doesn't come any higher up. You already took a -4, but I do James Ake for a -8. I mean, it depends who you'd be starting instead. If the person on your bench you think is even half decent option, then no, I wouldn't. And actually, Reece James is not that far away from being back. So, Salah or De Bruyne. KDB leaves me with no Liverpool. Salah to De Bruyne I wouldn't do for a -4. I would do only for 3. Sorry, I definitely wouldn't do it for a -4. I've got the hiccups. That's not good on stream, is it? It's going to be enjoyable watching for you. You've got triple City attack, Mahrez, KDB and Haaland. You're needing goals. I quite like that. If I could get there, then maybe I would, but I have a lovely option in John Stones in my lineup. -4 to free up funds for Cancelo to Kane. Yes. Let's answer some options, some questions which are not revolving around Manchester City defenders for a moment. Start Dalot or Kyle Walker. I mean, Kyle Walker's performance at centre-back, when was it? Wednesday, was one of the worst performances I've seen in a while from a top player. So I wouldn't be confident on Kyle Walker. So I'd probably play Diego Dalot because their second fixture is good. It's against Palace. And if he's going to be fit, he'll play Palace. So that's probably just about where I would go. So I'd probably play Dalot. Probably play Dalot over him. So I have the exact money because Mount to Mahrez, I have the exact money in the bank. So is Saka injured? No. Saka's yellow flagged because he came off during the cup match, but Arteta literally said straight after the game that he's fine and he's going to be fine. I don't quite know why they put the yellow flag on him, to be honest. So, yeah. Took a gamble on Sterling last week. Who should I replace him with for a -8? Again, it's a City midfielder. Rashford, if you don't have him. Or an Arsenal, planning for when their fixtures turn in Game Week 22. The Arsenal fixtures from Game Week 22 are really nice. You'll be wanting a piece of the Arsenal defence for this run, especially given they don't blank in Game Week 25 as well. Why can't I? So, yeah. It's possible they don't blank in Game Week 28 either if they don't beat City in the FA Cup. So, triple Arsenal is going to be very, very popular from Game Weeks 22 onwards. So if you're looking for a midfielder and you don't have triple Arsenal, I would just go and buy them now and just preempt when you are wanting to have 3 of them. Dalot, why are you talking about Dalot? Isn't he injured? Yes, Dalot is injured. Someone asked about whether they should start Dalot or Kyle Walker, and I'd probably start Dalot just because there's a chance that he starts the Palace game, and if that's the case, and I don't think Kyle Walker will start both either. So, Harry, love your streams. Thank you very much. Who would I go? Mount, Odegaard, Martinelli, or Saka? Mitro to Tony, -4. If you have no Arsenal midfielders, Odegaard's probably the number one I would go with first, just because of how involved he is. Chances of him getting returns are reasonable. So, yeah, I'd probably just about go there. where are we at? So what hits are you guys taking? Yeah, only 1 in 5 of you are not taking a hit this week. Very, very high percentage of people taking -4s going into this game week. Thanks for the answer. No worries. Ake, Kanji or Stones? Definitely not Stones. So Stones is injured. He's not going to play tomorrow. He might be back for the next fixture, but he's not going to play. Let's end that poll. We can potentially put another one up in a minute. Will any defender apart from Trippier outscore Mitrovic? No, I'd probably want to start Mitrovic this week if you've got him. I wouldn't realise. Yeah. I would definitely not want to bench Mitrovic. Andy, Raptor and Focal are all losing their triple captain. Wow. Wow. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. All playing their triple captain. United away and Spurs at home. They think there's going to be no better opportunity for a triple captain this season. Wow. Haaland is a beast. I understand that, but the chances are they'll have other doubles between now and the end of the season. So it's a no from me. It's a no from me on the triple captain if you had not worked out already. No one's talking about Crystal Palace double game week options. There are so many other transfers that we're all making. We're all already on -4s, -8s at the moment. That using another hit to go and buy Wilfried Zaha, Eze is just not what we want to do. Their double includes Chelsea and United. Now, double including Chelsea is maybe a good double that we should be looking at a bit more, but I think there's just so much else going on at the moment that this Trossard stuff is very bizarre. He's been excluded from the Brighton squad. So, Harry, do I regret going early with your transfers, or do I think the risk was worth it? I mean, I regret bringing in a player who is now injured, sure, but I wanted Harry Kane in, and if I was doing it again, I would bring in another Manchester City defender and bring in Harry Kane. So the transfers in practice were right. I've been pretty lucky with these sorts of things over the past couple of seasons. This is the first real one that I look at and think, yeah, that didn't go well. So it's okay. I don't think City will keep a clean sheet tomorrow away at United either. So if I can get away with it tomorrow and see what's happening against Spurs, if he misses both and Ben White comes off the bench, then fine. Holly Shand is also... The triple captain content creator hype is real. I don't know where that came from. I'm definitely not playing it. Haaland didn't score in 2 games. Law of averages. He's hauling big now. I mean, yeah, it's not quite how things work, but I understand the thought process behind it. I just think there are plenty of other weeks that we're going to be able to play our triple captains. A lot of people are on Twitter as well. I think Ben Crellin himself is playing his triple captaincy this week as well. So that's the only other slight caveat that we've got there. Isn't Ward better than Kepa this fixture? I mean, without Zakaria there, I just find these goalkeeper decisions so difficult. Like, looking at Leicester... Looking at, like, game week 16, he was great. He was great for this period, but 3 conceded to Newcastle, 2 conceded to Liverpool, and then, conceding to Fulham as well. I mean, they're difficult teams, but I mean, maybe I should do it the other way around. Not worry about my Chelsea asset. I mean, they're both a bit rubbish, but I hate having both of them in my team. Edouard or Dallo. I'd probably play Edouard, but I wouldn't buy Edouard. If you've got him, just play him, but please don't be bringing him in. The way that Palace forward line rotates a lot of the time, I wouldn't be starting. I wouldn't be bringing him in. Thoughts on Salah and Mitro to Mahrez and Kane? Salah and Mitrovic to Mahrez and Kane. Yeah, I quite like those. That's fine. Yeah, I don't mind those. Mohammed, I would probably do that. If that's for free, definitely. If it's a -4, probably. If it's for a -8, I wouldn't do it. People saying Awaniwi is a doubt for Forest, so that improves the Leicester probability of a clean sheet. Fine. And with Zakaria out for Chelsea, I think the way they're defending, I can't see us keeping a clean sheet against Palace, to be honest. So let's go with Ward. I should have listened to you all last week when I should have played White in my defence over Cancelo, which you were all shouting at me to do. You said, Danny Ward, Harry, play Danny Ward, and I didn't. Sorry, not play Danny Ward, play Ben White over Cancelo, and I didn't do it. So let's listen to you this week. Salah, Cancelo, Darwin to De Bruyne, Kane, Nathan Ake for a -8. Salah, Cancelo, Darwin, Kane, Ake, De Bruyne. I mean, if you need the money for Salah to De Bruyne, then fine, but I don't think it's worth a -4 on its own. But thank you, Neil, very much for the super chat. I appreciate all of you for the super chats that you're giving, of course. For anyone who wonders, I raised just under £700 for charity during the month of December. There was a charity fundraiser that I was running on YouTube, which is where this live stream, for anyone on TikTok, come join on YouTube to get your questions answered. If you do want your questions answered, FPL Harry on YouTube. But we raised just under £700, so was happy with that. Won't Kane get suspended if he gets a yellow? Yeah, and I've got Trippier on it, I've got Saka on it, and I've got Kane on it. If they all get suspended, I'm in the mud, basically. Well, Kane will be suspended only for the second half of the double, which is fine. Someone else has said of Stones, if you are buying a defender, it is... I should probably put that in here. As hot topic. I mean, we have top transfer targets, which is as Ake at the top. If you are looking to buy a defender, he's the highest ranked defender. Top buys, there we go. Luke Shaw and then Nathan Ake. So if you are looking for a defender to buy, hopefully the stuff in the corners that are rotating around on the stream have enough useful information in there for you. Ake or Botman. So again, please look at the top players to buy for a lot of these questions. My team is not locked in. For anyone asking, a few of you in the chat, wondering whether my team is ready for the double. It's not. I'm likely to do, well, I will be doing one more transfer. Mount out to Riyad Mahrez. The only reason things might change, you might ask, well, why have you not done it yet, Harry? Is because there's a chance that we get a double game week announcement at 6 o'clock this evening of games going into game week 21. It's very unlikely, but it is possible. So there's literally no reason for me not to make, the transfers earlier than I in theory need to, closer to the deadline. So I will be waiting right up until. Be waiting right up until the deadline, until after 6 o'clock, because we might get that double game week announcement. I'm hoping that we will, but it would do my team a little bit of good, I think, and throw a little bit of panic elsewhere. But I don't necessarily think it's going to happen. So, Harry, we'll get to your question. Mystic. Yes, start Gabriel or Cancelo. Cancelo. I'll start Cancelo over Gabriel. -8 or -4. So I'm on a -4. It will go up to a -8. So if you haven't checked out my transfers and everything, it's all in my team selection video that came out yesterday. Basically explains where I'm at, the howler that I've had with John Stones, what I'm going to do elsewhere with my other two transfers. I have to make the decision basically on, do I want Salah and Mahrez or Mount and De Bruyne? And for me, I'm favouring Mahrez, I think. Is Isaac an option for next week's? No, there's enough other good forward options that we don't want to be buying Isaac, who's not even nailed to start at the moment. Any Nunes update? Was he in training today? So their match is on Sunday. No, it's not. Their match is tomorrow. I believe he didn't train. It's kept him out of training, basically. So I'd be surprised if he starts. I'd be very surprised if we get a start from Darwin in this fixture. I might be wrong, but you're going to free hit, I'd advise against it. I think there are enough other weeks between now and the end of the season that free hit will be better played, because the transfers that you're making, the reason the free hit is also very valuable is if you want to make changes for a week that you then don't want to undo. But a lot of the transfers we want to make for this week, we want to undo going forward. So Tony or Kane. Tony seems a nice differential. I just think Kane is a good option to be buying in, and use the double game week as an excuse to be going and buying him. So yeah, you've not found anything on Nunes training today. Try to find training pictures, but no joy. Yeah, there isn't anything apart from the press conference, which it doesn't bode very well for him. City, again, I just wish that we had something positive. The issue for me with the John Stones is that the quotes from Pep today basically didn't even point out how long he'd be out for. Stones, Ben White or Cucurella. I'd start Cucurella there. Cucurella or White. If you've got Cucurella, I'd probably still start him over Ben White. So yeah, it didn't even point to like how long he's going to be out for. So I mean, if he doesn't play either, I get Ben White off the bench. I needed the money to go and buy Harry Kane. They're not great transfers at the end of the day, but they're not great transfers at the end of the day, are they? But who is on my watch list for the next few weeks? So actually, as I look here, next week my team looks fine. I don't feel like I need necessarily to use my transfers. I do have a lot of players in the Arsenal-Manchester United game. Is the only issue with my team next week. I've got Martinelli in it. I've got Rashford in it. I've got Saka in it. I've got Shaw in it. I might even end up with Ben White in it if Stones is not going to be fit, which doesn't fill me with loads of confidence. But these games can have goals in. If you've got John Stones, don't sell him for a hit. Just keep him. He may end up playing the second game. Cancelo to Lewis, you think that's a trap? Again, like, only sell Cancelo. I don't want to spend the whole stream talking about one transfer potential, but don't go selling Cancelo unless you need the money to do something else. It's not worth a -4 on its own. Jonathan, thank you for the super chat. Would I do Darwin and Mount out for Kane and Mitoma or Casemiro? Oh, I need to plug. Hang on. Sorry, I will get to that. Or Darwin and Mount out. Darwin, Mount and Cucurella out for Kane, Elise and Doherty, Varane. I imagine you've already got Luke Shaw in there, so I wouldn't do the second one. I'd do the first one. I don't hate the Casemiro pick if they end up doubling in game week 22. He had an extra 2 games in 3 weeks over Mitoma. Part of me would want to punt on Casemiro in that situation. Part of me would want to punt and just hope that they get the double in game week 23. The issue is in game week 22, even if they don't get the double, it looks horrible. So I'd probably just go Mitoma, because there'll be other ways for you to get a second United asset in. So I probably would just go Mitoma if I was in your situation. My triple captain, yeah. So apparently a lot of content creators as well are playing their triple captain. So apparently Andy, Oscar and Ross are all playing their triple captain this week, and plenty of the people on Twitter as well are all playing their triple captain, which I'm surprised at. Surprised so many of them are doing it. Feels like it's still better held until the end of the season. But a lot of people are doing it. So it's not for me. It's too early for me to play it. If anyone knows, I love to save my chips right up until the end of the season. So yeah, it's a no from me. Let me get my team back up on screen. So for anyone wondering about my transfers, I'm basically waiting until half an hour until 6 o'clock to potentially make my transfers, because there's a chance that we get a double game week announcements at 6 o'clock on a Friday. They've done it at 6 o'clock on the Friday in previous weeks. So that's why we're waiting until then. And then I'm probably going to do Mount to Mahrez for another -4, which will put me on a -8. Anyone wondering about whether they should take hits or not, that's the wrong tab. This is the right tab. The amount of people taking hits, we've had 1,100 votes. 11,000 votes. And 1 in 3 people are not taking a hit. which is crazy to me that 70% of the game have taken hits. Who is on my watch list for the next few weeks? Good question. Sorry. Who would I be looking to bring in? Again, it will depend if we get any doubles. If we don't get any more announcements, I like the Fulham. I like the Newcastle fixtures going forward, but I don't necessarily know where I'd fit the one in. It does feel like from game weeks. I feel like from game week. Sorry. I'm back. I feel like from game weeks 22 onwards, this team is going to end up being quite template. I need to sort my defence out a little bit. If Stones is injured, then maybe. I do like the idea of Saka to Odegaard. It frees up a lot of money. It frees up a lot of money that I could do a lot with. So that's the transfer I'm definitely eyeing up. Saka to Odegaard. It would allow me, so if I look next week, like Saka, I just don't think he's worth the money over Odegaard, is basically where I'm at with it. Saka to Odegaard frees up 1.3 million. I feel like puts it in a reasonable amount. Like I could then do Mahrez to, like, let me just try something out effectively. Mahrez to Gakpo, Salah to De Bruyne. I've got to see how Gakpo plays. There's no confirmation at all that I'm not going for Bruno Fernandes. It would leave me a lot of money if I wanted to upgrade anything elsewhere. So I am looking at a Saka to Odegaard potential downgrade elsewhere as a transfer. I think it would, yeah. I think the money is better spent elsewhere, is the way I look at it. Almost 700 likes on the stream. 1,000 of you guys watching. Happy Friday as well to you all. I hope you have a lovely weekend. We are also just 75 subscribers away from hitting our target of 42,000 for the game week deadline. So any support you can help me to get there. Do I know the ranks of the content creators using their treble caps? Is it a desperate move to bolster their ranks? So Ross is 1,000. Ross is 2,000 in the world, 1,700. So Ross is doing really well. Oscar is about 100k, and I think Andy is about 500k. So there's a real split. It doesn't feel like it's necessarily I need to gain rank. I trust their decisions as good managers as well. So, am I starting Ward over Kepa? I think so. Friday the 13th. Spooky. Stones and Nunes definitely out. Stones will not play the first game. Nunes is not definitely out. He wasn't ruled out categorically, but I'd be surprised if he starts at the weekend. But it is a big game. They could easily drop more points, right? Everyone's looking at Chelsea now, but Liverpool could easily drop more points. Why am I starting Danny Ward? So my thought process on Danny Ward out of the two. Kepa, I mean, there's going to be no Zakaria, which I never thought I would say. There's going to be no Zakaria for Chelsea. There's also no Awoniyi for Forest. So I am just favouring that. Both defences are rubbish. It could go either way. Is Saka playing? GG, yeah. So Saka's only yellow flagged because he got a knock in the cup, but sorry, he got a knock in the cup, but Arteta said he's fine, so I don't really know why he's yellow flagged. For -8, Thank you for the super chat, by the way, as well. For a -8, would I do Mount to Mahrez or Trossard to anyone? Trossard has to go. Like, Trossard needs to go because I don't think him playing anytime soon. Do Trossard to Matoma. I love Matoma as an option. He's another one I've got my eye on. If I switch back to a 3-4-3, Matoma is the cheap mid I will go. I posted a sound clip of it. I think Matoma outscores Andreas any cheap mid between now and the end of the season. Number one option I will be going with is Matoma. Sorry, also, I know there was a Liam. Thank you for joining back as a member. Thank you and welcome to the channel. Greatly appreciated all the new members joining today. Of course, there are 2 tiers to the membership, but either membership massively helps support the channel and what I'm trying to do and help you guys climb the mini leagues and climb your rankings as much as possible. So even just subscribing, turn on notifications, follow, all that good stuff is greatly appreciated. We're going to be starting to do some YouTube like short videos as well, a little bit more, sort of mid-game week and things like that. So hopefully you enjoy that. Just a bit more of my reactions, so you get that in there as well. So if you're excited for that, again, well, yeah, hit the subscribe button, but I don't want to bang on about it too much. It will annoy you. Happy Friday. Gaeta or Kepa? I mean, I'd start Kepa over Gaeta, but I don't. Interesting combination of goalkeepers. Not necessarily one I would have gone for myself. Best Man City defenders to buy for Cancelo, Nathan Ake. So when my top players to buy bit comes around in the top right, that's where I would go if it's working. If it's working. Pope or Ward, definitely start Pope. Definitely start Pope. If you have any excuse not to play Ward or Kepa, then I would. That thing hasn't changed and the top has it for a while. There we go. We got it working again. These things have a way of working themselves out. Play or bench Cancelo. I'd probably play him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he only starts 1. Probably wouldn't be surprised if he starts 1, if he doesn't start any of them at all as well. Cancelo, Salah, Havertz to Botman, Walker, De Bruyne, Kane. I wouldn't be buying Kyle Walker. I definitely wouldn't be buying Kyle Walker. I would go Nathan Ake as my top City defender to buy. I'd buy Luke Shaw if you didn't have him. Oh, Liam, I thought so. That's why I was confused. That's why I said welcome back, but then it said new member, so I was confused. But welcome back. So yeah, I would go Nathan Ake if you can. If not, I'd go Botman over Kyle Walker. Am I using my triple captain this week? If not, when will I likely play it? I'm definitely not playing my triple captaincy chip this week. I'm definitely not playing my triple captaincy chip this week. If I look at other opportunities to play it, I personally think Game Week 23 is a better option. Yes, people will say, oh, but Haaland could get rested for the Champions League. It could, but they cannot drop points anywhere. They cannot drop points anywhere, City. So I still think he starts both. There will also likely be another double for them later in the season, which again, you might see Haaland rested in, but we've seen him not be rested very much, and that will be probably the most favourable double of them all. I very rarely play my chips this early, even if the opportunity arises for a decent chance. So I'm not playing my triple captaincy on Erling Haaland this week. Rodrigo or Almiron. The issue is, if Rodrigo gets a double in game week... Sorry, I just went really close to the mic then. If Rodrigo gets his double in game week 22, then you probably just about back him. Who do they play this week? But you're gambling on a double, so I probably would just take the money and go Matoma. Matoma does look really good, so I would probably just about go there. 31% no hits. These stats are a little bit crazy to me. I'm really surprised so many people are taking hits. I mean, I know I'm on a -4, but I thought I was going to be way out of it. So that basically says the average. That basically said the average is going to be minus. My maths isn't. I mean, my maths is not bad, but I cannot work out what the average is going to be there. The average is going to be basically a -4 per person, I think. That goes up to like 70% to be fair. So maybe it's just under a -4. Depends how you want to cut this, because you could say 70% of people are taking only a -4 or no hit. What am I waiting for? How will the double game week announcement change my transfer plans? If Chelsea Liverpool get a double, then I may not make the transfer. If we get a double for Chelsea and Manchester City, for Chelsea and Liverpool in game week 21, I might not make it, because then Mount has Palace, Liverpool, and Mahrez has Man United, Tottenham, Wolves, and I don't think that we'd get 2-3 starts from Mahrez necessarily, so I might not do it. So that's basically what I'm waiting for. 6 o'clock it's happened before at 6 o'clock that we've had double game week announcements, so that's basically what I'm waiting for. Then 15 minutes to do that, then half an hour to make my final transfers. So yeah. Yo, bro, Mount for Mahrez or Salah for De Bruyne to choose the last City player? I personally think the Mount out option is better. And that's my plan. I'm going to be selling Mason Mount before the deadline. So that's where I'm at with it. Status of Saka's injury. So Saka went off. Arteta said he should be fine. I'd be very surprised if Saka doesn't play. We've seen it so many times with Saka before. We saw it, I think, last season or 2 seasons ago when Mount started being good, that he kept on getting knocks and then suddenly he'd appear on the pitch at the weekend. Saka's the same. We've had him yellow flagged, it feels like forever. So yeah, I definitely am keeping Saka. The North London derby, the ref, so read into this how you want. The ref of the North London derby loves giving out penalties and he loves giving out yellow cards as well. So going by this, Saka and Kane are both going to get penalties, and Kane's going to get booked, and he's going to be suspended for the City game. But Kane only has 1 game left, whereas I think Saka has 2 that he can't get booked in. Saka has 2, I think, because I think Arsenal have already played 17 and Spurs have played 18. So of course the doubles are dependent on the yellow cards are reset after the team has played 19 games, not after 19 game weeks. So Arsenal played 17, so Saka has to play twice more. Kane has to only play once more. So Chris, apologies, I missed your super chat. Would I do -8, James to Shaw, Cancelo to Ake, Andreas to De Bruyne, and Mitrovic to a 5.1 million forward? Ferguson I would go with, although he could blank in 25. Yeah, that's true. Who does he play in 25? It's one of the... Shaw... I still would do Ferguson. Leeds have Southampton at home, but we don't even know if Gnonto is going to be nailed by then. Brighton play Newcastle away. I would probably still go Ferguson. I still think he's the best. I definitely wouldn't want to go Greenwood. So yes, I would do that, and I would still probably go with Ferguson. Thank you all for the super chats, guys. If you do not know, we do have 2 tiers, just as it disappears away before my eyes. We do have 2 tiers of memberships here on the channel that are basically cheaper than the super chats. I love the super chats, but you can help support the channel ongoing, and you get the benefits basically of super chats for a whole month just by joining as a channel member. But I do appreciate the super chats. And FC Finney, you didn't leave a comment. Mitrovic out for Tony for a -4 is your comment. Definitely not. Definitely not. Am I playing Ward? Yes, I am going to play Ward, I think. Pope or Ward? I definitely play Pope. Play Ferguson or Gabriel. I'd chance it on Ferguson. Ferguson looks really good. It doesn't look like Trossard is going to be back anytime soon, and I don't think there'll be a start for anyone else in Danny Welbeck there. So I would probably just start... I'd start Ferguson over Gabriel, personally. It's quite a close one, but I probably would. Thank you, El Fozzy. Thank you, Korshal. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Jonathan. Kiprono, Ashish, Darren. Thank you guys all so much for subscribing. We are less than 50 subscribers away now from our goal of 42,000. Honestly, I never thought anything like this would happen. So thank you all for your support. All 937 of you that are watching. Flying, how are we doing? Thoughts on Darwin to Tony rather than Kane? Brentford next 3 look good. I think you want Kane long term, so I would go Kane. I would go Kane. How confident are you on Stones, or shall I go with Ake? Please do not buy John Stones. Please do not buy John Stones. No, the servers are not down. Please do not buy John Stones. He is not going to play tomorrow, so you may as well buy someone else who's actually got a chance of playing. Even if the City rotation headache is difficult, buy someone who's even got a chance of playing. What's my game week plan using a wild card? I don't quite know. I'm looking at game week 29 as a possibility of a wild card. Game week 28 is likely to be a decently sized blank game week with a few key players still. So if I get Ben Krellin's, let me get Ben's page up. So let me talk you through the potential doubles and blanks that we might have coming up. So game week 25, which is this one, we might blank for the cup final. Game week 28, and that's not the graphic I want. This is the graphic I want. Oh no, that's not the graphic I want. He has one of these for game week 28. Here we go. So this is the game for game week 28. The blank percentage that we've got here. I think I might wildcard after this. I will use my free transfers to bring in players that don't blank in game week 28 and wildcard in game week 29 to bring all those players back in. So, for example, I will triple up on Newcastle away at Forest going into game week 28. And if I don't want them in game week 29, I can play my wildcard to get rid of them. The chances are that we will probably have 4 blanks looking at the way things are already set up. So, like Leicester, that'll be fine. I could get Ivan Toney if I wanted to. I'll have... Arsenal have got City. If Arsenal don't blank and Newcastle don't blank, if Arsenal don't blank and Newcastle don't blank, a free hit this week is not needed, right? So I can say my free hit later on in the season. I hope people end up playing it in game week 25 or 28. But if Arsenal and Newcastle don't blank, that's already easy 6 players that you've got. And then just add a few others from I don't know, like Leicester, that's another one, that's a goalkeeper. So I think not free hitting in that week will become quite easy if you plan well enough. Of course, I will go through all of that in as much detail in the videos leading up to it as I can. People saying the servers are down. The servers are not down. The servers are fine. I think it's just you. So yeah, shall I play Saka or Andreas? I would play Saka. I wouldn't worry too much about Saka's yellow flag, if I'm honest. 69% bandwagon on Wilfried Zaha. We'll all be bandwagoning on Wilfried Zaha for that one. That is true. We've got 9 minutes until we might get double game week announcements. There is also a very small possibility that they announce it at 6:30. They did it last season once. They announced double game weeks at the FPL deadline, and it caused chaos. It caused absolute chaos. So let's hope they don't do it again, but they do have it in them. So Martial and De Bruyne or Tony and Mahrez. So Martial and De Bruyne or Tony and Mahrez. Martial... Probably Martial and De Bruyne. Probably Martial and De Bruyne. They've done it after deadline also. Yeah, they have. They've done it at like 2 or 3 minutes after the deadline before. It's very possible that it... Well, it's not very possible, but it's not impossible that it happens again. I'm hoping that we get it in 5:52. Fozzie's saying it's not like the FPL deadline is their priority. It's true, but there's no other reason for them to delay it from 6 to 6:30 unless they want to spite people playing FPL, right? That would be the only reason they delay it from one to the other. So, I mean, it's like it's not their priority. It's not their priority, but there's no reason they make it at 6:30 when they know that's the FPL deadline. They do that on purpose. I'm sure they did on purpose last year. Nunes and Martial are definitely out. That's not the case. They both, in theory, could play. They are both doubt. Nunes is a bigger doubt out of the two. So many doing Salah to Bruyne for -4. What are your thoughts? I'm not doing it myself. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. The only thing I suddenly just wondered, if I did Saka to Mahrez, then next week I could use a transfer on selling Mount. But I don't think that's worth it. I don't think that's a good idea, actually. Ignore that. Cucurella or Botman. If I had to play one this week, I'd probably play Cucurella, but it's not that much between the two of them. Hey, take some hits, bring in players. I'm going to. You give me 7 minutes and I will do exactly as you ask. And I will take that. I will take the hit. Take the hit. If anyone used to listen to Take the Hit or watch Take the Hit, you will get it. If not, everyone's going to click off because last week you made me sing the Darwin Núñez song. YouTube, thank you for the super chat. Kepa, Ake, Trippier, Cancelo, Rashford, Almiron, Saka, Haaland, Kane, subs, Walker, Cucurella, Martinelli, Andreas. Any suggestions and changes? I mean, not really. Your bench is pretty strong. I'm not sure I'd start Havertz, but I'd probably start Martinelli over Havertz, but that would be it. That would be the only change. Take the hit legends. Yeah, I used to love them. Harry, that was embarrassing. Go and watch me singing Darwin Núñez' song last week and you might. The Trossard stuff, yeah. So there was something, again, I've not been in my group chats that much today because I've been working, but there is stuff about, it doesn't look like Trossard is going to be a Brighton player for very much longer is basically it. But yeah, it means Matoma is going to be a great option going forward, basically. You have taken your wild card. It's better to play your wild card than your free hit this week, so I'm not completely against it. Start Mitro or Saliba. Mitrovic over Saliba. Focal is Oscar's triple captaining Haaland. A lot of people are. The triple captain temptation is very low. Triple captain temptation is very low. So no, I wouldn't be doing it. Trossard is going to Spurs. It sounds like he's going to Spurs, which I think they need him. I think it works quite well, but it does open like the likes of Matoma up to be really, really nice options. We're only 33 subscribers away from 42,000. If you are watching and you can't comment, it's because you haven't subscribed. Just click that subscribe button, upload 3 videos minimum a week, plus do a 2.5 hour deadline stream. What is not to like? Cancelo for sure, -4. Only if you're going to invest the money elsewhere, but I probably would do that anyway. I think Shaw is becoming a very nice option for us. So yeah, if you don't have Shaw and going into this week, he's one of the most highly owned assets this week. So yeah, I would do that. Mitrovic to Martial for a hit. No, I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't be buying Martial for a hit. Bringing in Martial is okay, only if it's for free. There are going to be better double game weeks later on. I agree. I think there will be. North London score prediction, 2-1 Arsenal maybe. I think Arsenal will win it. I think Arsenal are the better side of the two. But you never know what Harry Kane can do and how he's going to stamp his mark on a game. Did I see Felix through on goal and Mount played it sideways? It's been saying him and Havertz are top of the fraud watch. Havertz living off his Champions League goal. Havertz is living off his Champions League goal. The issue is, I don't want to say a bad word about Mason Mount because Mason Mount's effort in a Chelsea shirt is second to none. Like after the game as well, the way he understands how bad it's going at the moment is above anyone else. There were a couple of times that he should have been played through though. Would I bring in Lewis as my Man City defender? I don't think he'll start both games in the double game week. Is basically where I'm at with it. But I think he's an okay pick, and he's 3.9 million. So you need to, understand what you're getting with a 3.9 million option. So, will I get Ake in for Stones? I'm not taking another -4, especially when I don't think Ake or anyone. I'm not sure if any of the City defenders are going to play both. Why is Ake preferred over Akanji, please? Ake can play more than one position, so Ake can play in the middle and at left back, whereas Akanji's more preferred than Ake is in either of his individual positions. But Ake potentially at left back or at centre back is better for me than it is for Akanji. Plus, we have also seen some little bit of attacking threat from Nathan Ake in recent seasons. So it's very close. If you want to go Akanji, I will not put you off it. It's very, very close. How long have we got? 1 minute until potentially we get some announcements. I am very surprised if they come, but it would send the FPL community into absolute chaos if we get a double gaming announcement in a minute. Could you imagine? Do I start Cancelo or Ben White? Cancelo or White? I'd start Cancelo, at least take the chance on the double game week player. Like you, I bought Dallo because of Kane. Yeah, it frees up the money. What do I think about Matoma? I really liked it, and I did actually consider buying Matoma this week. It just didn't quite fit, and I think next week I may end up looking at him, depending on how Mahrez does. Nunes and Mitro to Kane and Ferguson, or Nunes to Tony. I like the -4. I like Ferguson going forward. Guys, thank you so much for the 3 super chats, all in quick succession. Again, do consider joining as a channel member for the same price as 1 super chat. You basically get a whole month's worth of the same benefits because I answer all my members' questions in the chat. Let's have a look if we're getting anything. Saka and Nunes to Matoma, McAllister and Kane from -8. No, I wouldn't sell Saka. I wouldn't be selling Saka. If we get announcements, what week will it be for? Game week 21. I mean, I'll be surprised if it happens. I mean, it's 6 o'clock, but scheduled tweets can take a little bit of time to load in. But I think it's unlikely. 6 of the 13 elite 11 on Footy Fix have acted their triple captainship. Interesting. I'm surprised it's so popular. I really am. I feel like people are getting FOMO with it. I feel like some people are seeing other people are doing it and think maybe I should consider it. Doesn't look like we're getting any double game week announcements, does it? And it's now 6:01. So looks like we're in the clear for game week 21 not being a double game week. Would have quite liked it because I've already got triple Arsenal, but that is what it is. Will Dallo play Crystal Palace? We don't know the answer to that. We have no way. I think there's a small chance that he's back, but do they rush him back if Wan-Bissaka plays well? Because there's a reasonable amount of break between the 2 games. So I wouldn't buy Dallo. If you've got him and you don't have anyone better, I wouldn't worry about starting him because I think he might play. Kepa or Ward, Mount to Mahrez -4. So I'm going with Danny Ward. Mount to Mahrez for -4. Yes, I think I'm going to do that in a moment. Thank you for the super chat, Dan. Thank you for the super chat. Shirang, you didn't leave a comment. Leave it in the chat and I will make sure to answer it. Would I start Mitrovic or Saka? Probably Saka between the 2 of those. Best defender for 4.3 million. Probably Tyrone Mings. Unless you want to gamble on Lewis of City, but I don't think he starts both. De Silva to Matoma for a -4. I can't imagine you're starting De Silva this week, so it can probably wait until next week. Why does the little tune keep playing? Oh, it plays when there's a super chat. Is it too loud? If it's too loud, then I can potentially turn it down. But yeah, if it's too loud, I can potentially turn it down. But that's what it plays for. James Doherty for a -4. No, I probably wouldn't do that. I'm not sure Doherty's worth a -4 this week. I'm not even sure he'll get 4 points full stop. So I actually think James might outscore him not playing a single minute of it. James is also back in training. Oh, it's not too loud. Okay. Cool. If James is back in training, so he could even be back, not this weekend, but the following one. It's fine. Sound is good. It's fine. Cool. What about Tony? Tony is absolutely fine. Like, I like him as an option. The fixtures are good. The ban will come at some point, I'm sure, for him, though, is the only thing. And he doesn't double. But I like Tony as an option. If there was no double, Tony would be very popular this week. Am I using my triple captain? No. Is the site down? No, but you're not the only one in the chat that said it. But it is working and it's up for me. I do need to make my transfers. I do need to make my transfers. Do need to make my transfers in a moment. De Bruyne, you're not going to regret it. I may end up regretting it, but I'm going to hope that Salah does something tomorrow. I'm going to hope that Mo Salah does something tomorrow. Bueno or Ben White to start. I'd probably play Bueno, but it's pretty close. The app is down. My app is fine, so I'd refresh it. I've got so many yellow flags in my team. My bench is not good enough as well. It's all falling apart around me, this team. Basically, it's going to be a nightmare week, and it's just how far I'm going to fall this week, and then from next week, it looks fine. It's basically where I'm at. Deal with a nightmare week this week, and then hopefully bounce back from next week. Is Martial too risky to get in? I wouldn't buy Martial, I don't think. Now, I'm not sure. Like, the issue is, if they double in game week 22, then it makes it look like a good transfer. But I don't think there's enough chance of that happening. And you have enough transfers between now and then to go and get an extra Manchester United asset in. So I wouldn't buy Martial. If you go to the latest tab at the bottom and then pick team, from there it works. Fine. The app is just slow. Cool. Darwin, Kane, Salah, Mahrez, -4. Cancelo, thoughts? Darwin, Kane, or Salah, Mahrez? Darwin to Kane and Salah to Mahrez. I don't hate those transfers, especially if it looks like Darwin is out. Martial is injured, pretty sure. Well, he's not. He trained today, and they've got to see how he reacts and whether he'll be fine for tomorrow. That's basically what we're waiting for. We're only 11 subscribers away, and then I will stop asking. What would I do if I had Nunes? I'd sell him. I'd try and get away to get to Harry Kane. If not, I'd go Ivan Toney. Is Mahrez really out? Mahrez is not out. Where are you seeing Mahrez out? Don't scare me before I'm about to bring him in. We only have 24 minutes until the deadline. 24 minutes until the deadline. Would you not be open to using your wild card? For a -8? No, it's not worth a -8. It's much more powerful later on in the season for bigger changes. Tufa, thoughts on Laporte? Play or bench White? So Laporte has not been playing that well on his return. He's not worth the money over those other City defenders. Also, a Salah De Bruyne looking like a good idea now that double is unlikely. For Salah, only for free. I wouldn't do it for a -4. Should I captain Kane as a differential? He's on a yellow card away from a ban. Yeah, which is why I wouldn't do it, which is why he's too low down my captaincy ranking. So, yeah. Is it worth to replace injured Patterson with Shaw to take me to a -8? I would. I wouldn't want to go into this week without Luke Shaw, to be honest. Femi and Shrirang, thank you for the super chat. Do consider joining as members, though. So you came to see if I knew anything? Oh, no. Mahrez is fine. Please answer, hey Harry, you have 7 million from midfielder. Who do I get? You already got Rashford and Martinelli. Another Arsenal midfielder, probably. I know their next two are difficult, but long term, you'll be best off bringing them in. If not, you can go Almiron or Matoma if you want other options and you don't like my first couple of suggestions. Right, shall we get those transfers made? We'll get these transfers made, I think. Just checking, no, nothing on Twitter. The amount of sudden people... The amount of people suddenly playing their triple captainship is very surprising. Very surprising. 2 Chelsea or 2 Newcastle defenders. Probably Newcastle. I wouldn't double up on the Chelsea defence. People saying the website's down. I'm not hanging around any longer. I'm doing this. I don't want to be in a situation where my... I thought the Premier League just tweeted something. But... they just tweeted this and I was like, oh my gosh, is it doubles? But it's not. It's not. Right, transfers. Where is he? Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I doing this to myself? So, -4 taken. We have Riyad Mahrez in for Mason Mount. People are saying the app is down. If you are waiting to make transfers, I wouldn't hang around very much longer, if I'm being honest. So, where do we join? Patreon? No, there's a... If you want to join as a member, sorry, if you guys are not sure where you join as a member, if you go onto my YouTube page, 1 sec, and I'll get to all your questions. We're going to do rapid fire questions in 1 second. There is a join button here. It will be next to the subscribe or whatever. And then if you click on that, it will give you the... You'll get me talking to you for a little bit. And then there's 2 options that you've got here. And that's how you join as a member. There should also be a link at the top of the description as well. There's all your comments. Oh, how do I... Let me scroll. There should be a link. Join as a channel member. If you click on that, it will take you and it should pop up. There you go. So, rapid fire questions. Website is not down. Website is not down. Website is not down. I brought in Riyad Mahrez. Triple captain or no? So I wouldn't do it personally, but if you watch a lot of the other streamers who are live at the moment, they will tell you to do it. But I'm not playing mine this week. Are you Mason Mount's brother? I take that as a big, big compliment. Thank you very much. News on Stones. Stones doesn't look like he's going to be available for tomorrow. Pep didn't offer any much more information than that. Rodrigo, a good Andreas upgrade. Yeah, but only for free. I wouldn't use a -4 on it. So Stones is not going to play tomorrow. Ake or Akanji. If I was buying a Manchester City defender, it would be Nathan Ake, I think. It's him and Akanji. There's not that much to be choosing between the two of them. Would I start Cucurella or Ben White? Probably Cucurella. Who would I captain? My captain is on Haaland. No triple captain, and I wouldn't captain anyone else this week. Who would I do? Mount and Patterson to Mahrez and Lewis from -8. If you need that 0.1 and that Lewis starting would upgrade from elsewhere, then maybe. Let me just tweet out my team and we will do. Why am I playing Ward over Kepa? I just don't know who to play. Forest just don't score loads of goals. I'm going to go with this. I don't like Chelsea at the moment. I'm watching my team perform and my FPL team fail is not good. Tony should play. Yep. Start Ward or Pope. Pope. Do I sell Salah for KDB or Bruno? I'd keep Salah unless it's a free transfer and then I would go De Bruyne. Best Cancelo replacements, again, only for free. I would probably go with Nathan Ake as the replacement there. I would go Nathan Ake as the replacement. Would I start Ward or Pope? So yeah, Pope. Would I start Martial or Saka? I'd take the gamble on Martial. Thoughts on Ake? Yes, he'd probably be my number. When top transfer players to buy comes around, he's my top defender outside of Luke Shaw that I'd be buying this week. Bueno or Ben White? Still Bueno. Who do I start? Cucurella or Castagna? Probably Castagna. It's the same as the Kepa versus Ward debate, so I'd probably go Castagna. Mitrovic to Tony for a -4. Absolutely would not be doing that this week. Why am I playing Stones? That hope that he plays the second game. Hope that he plays the second game. Give me... Here we go. Stones. Who else did I sell? Kane. So, Mitrovic or White. Definitely start Mitrovic. I don't know why people don't want to... Yeah. You can't join as a member on the app. You have to be on desktop. Kulusevski potentially back. Play him. If you've got Kulusevski, I would definitely play him. You think you should start White over who? Over Stones? I don't think so. I think there's goals in that North London derby. I think there's goals in that North London derby. So, cheers. I hope we are ready for the new Pep Roulette. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have Mahrez in my team for very long. But he is in my team now. Am I locked in? Yeah, this is. We are here. We are ready to go. We have Kane, a vice captain. We have Mahrez, -8 taken. I don't know the last time I took a -8. I don't like it. I do not like it. Best strike if you can't afford Tony. It is. If you can't afford Kane, then it's probably Ivan Toney. Dan, thank you for joining as a member of the channel. I appreciate it. Welcome. Start using. You get emojis of my face as well. Very exciting stuff. Start Mount or Martinelli? Martinelli. This game week's a mess. Correct. A lot of hits. Let's see where we are at with the poll. 11,500 votes and 31% are taking no hits. So two-thirds of people are taking at least a -4 this week. Thoughts on Cancelo, Andreas, Darwin to Tony, De Bruyne, Doherty -8. I don't love the Doherty pick, but overall the transfers are good. If you presumably don't have the money for another City defender, for example. Did I answer start Lewis or White? By the way, I would start Lewis. If you've got him, you take the gamble. There is a small chance that he starts both because there's a 7-day gap. There's a 7-day gap between the two games, so Almiron to Mahrez on a free transfer. I don't know if I'm not sure I'd waste a I'm not sure I'd do a transfer on that, to be honest. No. Thoughts on triple captain? There's just too many other double game weeks between now and the end of the season that I think will be equally good opportunities to be playing it, if I'm honest. So no, I wouldn't be. I just don't think now is the week. I'm surprised there's so much activity on it. Which combo do I prefer? Edison, Salah and Tony or Kepa, Mahrez, Kane? For this week, Kepa, Mahrez, Kane, definitely. For this week, Kepa, Mahrez, Kane. But longer term, you could then use a transfer on selling Mahrez. Longer term, Edison, Salah, Tony. It depends if you're going to need transfers for other weeks. Like if you've got triple Arsenal, then maybe you go with the more punty option in Kane. So I'd probably go with the Kane route. So thank you for the super chat. I'd probably go with the Kane route. What percentage are you against triple captain this week? And if you weren't triple captain this week, is it game week 23? I'd say 0% chance I triple captain this week. 40% chance I triple captain game week 23. 60% chance I triple captain in another week. Which one would I start? Cancelo, Bueno or White? If you've got Cancelo, like just play him. Even if he plays one of the two, we know the attacking threat is there. We know the bonus point potential is there. I wouldn't be benching any of your City assets, whoever they are. Mr. Freeze, I know, sorry, I need to just keep moving all the time because otherwise I freeze during my live streams too much and I just sit still. You're the only content creator who hasn't triple captained Haaland. You rate my confidence. To be honest, my confidence this week is bought in. I know it's going to go horribly wrong because I've taken a -4 to bring in John Stones, who's not playing, and I have Riyad Mahrez instead of Kevin De Bruyne in my team. So all in all, I just think it's going to go horribly wrong. So why would I want to get a red arrow the week I play my triple captain more than anything else? But I also think there's better doubles. Maybe I'm trying to convince myself, but yeah. Aurier or Cucurella. Cucurella. Start Cucurella or White. Cucurella. If I've got him over White, probably just about him. Palace. Chelsea don't look great defensively, but I would probably start him out of the two. The hits are coming in thick and fast all over the community. One moment, and then we're going to do some more. So, let's go. Botman or Lewis this week. If I was buying one, I'd probably just buy Botman. Havertz to Wilson for a -4. Havertz to Wilson for a -4. No, I wouldn't do that, although Havertz has been rubbish, but I don't see anyone else starting over him, especially with João Felix suspended. Cancelo and Mitro to White and Kane. Yes, I probably would do that. The Flying Nago gifted one membership. He gifted a membership. Who did it go to? What do I do? Who got it? Jaffeld 123. You got a membership. Well done. Thank you, Fine Naga. I didn't realise you could gift memberships. Maybe we'll do that. If Mahrez outscores, here we go. If Mahrez outscores, it's like what they do on Twitch, don't they? If Mahrez outscores Kevin De Bruyne, I will gift 5 memberships. Clip it. Base tier for 1 month. I can do it myself. That is exciting. How do I... Well done. Don't forget your transfers, Harry. I've done my transfers. Transfers are done. Foden to KDB for a -4. Yes, I would do that. Would I start Andreas or Ben White? Probably Andreas. Favour the attacker. Ake or Kanji? I'd probably about just a favour. Ake. Is Jack Grealish a good option? Help. I think he's fine. I think he might only start 1 of the double, though. But then he starts Wolves, so I think he starts 2 of the next 3. I think he's in favour at the moment. You don't have money for Stones, so I bought Ake. Good. You're better off buying Ake because Stones is not going to play. You're better off buying Ake than Stones. KDB or Mahrez. If I had the money, I'd go for KDB. But if I had the money... KDB for Salah. Only if it's for free. Don't go making KDB to Salah for a -4. That's definitely not worth it. That's definitely not worth it. The question isn't KDB versus Mahrez, but Salah and Mahrez versus KDB in amount, right? Well, exactly, that's it. When people are asking KDB versus Mahrez, it's KDB if I had the money, but Salah and Mahrez is better than Mount and De Bruyne, in my opinion. You did the Stones move too early too. Start Stones or White. I'm starting Stones. I mean, there is a possibility that Pep is having a joke and he starts tomorrow morning. It's about 5% chance, but it's possible. You was on course for 1 transfer. You ended up on 3 for a -8. To be honest, I'm happy that the chaos has happened because it's meant that everyone has taken hits with me, basically. And my -8 doesn't look quite as stupid as it maybe would have done. Leon Bailey or Mitrovic? Definitely Mitrovic. Definitely Mitrovic. No Kepa. Why would we want anyone? Why would we want Chelsea goalkeepers? Have we seen them play? Am I not triple captaining? No. I feel like I'm the only person now not playing triple captain. Hats off, Harry. Come visit Nepal. I will let you know if I ever decide to come and visit Nepal. Please start Mount or Martial. Martinelli. Can Rashford captain equal Haaland? I don't think it's worth it. Ben Mee or Castagna? Ben Mee. Leicester don't look that solid defensively. Please answer Cucurella to Shaw and Darwin to Kane. Cucurella to Shaw and Darwin to Kane and Saka to Almiron for -8. I mean, that's a lot of ways to... can you not just do... Yeah, actually, I probably would. You need Shaw long term. Yeah, I would. Taking hits from Mount is like triple captaining Maguire. Taking hits to get Mount out. I'd take a -8 to get Mount out looking at us play. Cancelo to Ake for a -4. Only if you're going to invest the money elsewhere. If you're just going to sit with the money in the bank, I probably wouldn't do it. And I would just start Cancelo this week and maybe do it next week instead. Rashford, Salah, Tony... yes. Cancelo's Ake for a -4. Again, I would only do that if you need the money elsewhere. The only reason to sell Cancelo is if you need that money elsewhere. Bench Mitro, Odegaard or Martinelli. Probably one of the Arsenal mids. I don't really want to bench Mitro. Fulham looks so good at the moment. So I'd probably go Odegaard or Martinelli. I'd probably bench Martinelli if I had to out of those three. Would I risk playing Rico Lewis? If you've got Rico Lewis, I definitely would play him. I would definitely play him. Who would my first sub out of White, Bueno and Andreas? Probably Bueno. I think that's what I've been saying generally, is that I'd start Bueno over White. It's pretty close, but I think both teams probably score in the North London derby, which is why I wouldn't buy Matt Doherty as well, or even Ivan Perisic. So yeah, I probably would put Bueno first. Salah, Rashford or Tony for captaincy. It's got to be Rashford, but I would want to put it on a Man City player. So yeah. Amsterdam guide here. Lee, how are we doing? Martial out for Tony for a -8. No. Keep Martial. Don't do a -4 to take him out. Definitely don't do a -4 to take him out, even if he doesn't start the first game. Martial or Mount. If you've got Martial, you need to start him. A lot of you saying, "Oh, I don't know whether." Yeah, start Martial, please. Start Martial out of the two of them. Yeah, Ake or Akanji. Ake, that's why. Top players to buy. Nathan Ake is there. Please talk to me about Ake or Stones. Is essentially a -2. But you don't know Ake is going to play both games, so it's not a -2. Don't know Ake is going to play both games, so it isn't really that -2. Pick any two out of Almiron, Odegaard, Rodrigo for the next 3 games. Almiron, Odegaard, Rodrigo for the next 2 games. I'd probably Almiron, Rodrigo just because the Arsenal fixtures are hard. Chelsea fan knows the reasons why you choose Ward over Kepa. Yep, I hate watching us play at the moment, and it is painful. How long do we have? 3 minutes to the deadline. Make sure you've locked your teams in. Why have I gone with Ward? Because Chelsea cannot defend at the moment. And Forest, without their main striker, Good luck with this game week. Thanks for your videos. Sorry about Stones. No worries. We will bounce back next week. We will bounce back. Why have I gone with Ward over Kepa? Why Ward over Kepa? So, Chelsea can't defend. Zakaria is also now injured as well. Palace are pretty mixed, but Forest might be without their main striker. Leicester defensively, again, is pretty mixed, but they have conceded goals. But they have, since the restart, played Newcastle, Liverpool, Fulham. Like, that is 3 good attacks. So, I'm just going with Ward. I'm fed up with Chelsea. Raging Chelsea fan here, basically. Should I change James to Shaw or Mount to Morris from -8? James to Shaw out of those two. You're captaining Rashford. Am I mad? I probably would say so. I probably wouldn't do that myself. Start Cucurella, Dallo or Quinta Bueno. Probably Cucurella. He probably should start. I think he'll start over Lewis Hall on Sunday. So I would play Cucurella in a lot of these because a lot of those other defenders have got difficult fixtures. So yeah. Should I change James? We've done that one. -8 confirmed for Threemium. Hopefully it works out. Yeah, well, that's what we've got. That Threemium core allows you to do a lot more. Well, with no Cancelo, it allows it to be much, much easier. Best striker if you can't afford Kane, probably Ivan Toney. Should you play Guehi since it's double game week for him? I probably would. If you've got Crystal Palace players, I'd probably stick them in your team. It's not a good double for them, but they do play Chelsea, who are rubbish. So, good luck, Harry. Thank you. Good luck to everyone who's heading off. We're going to stick around for a little bit, 5 minutes after the deadline as well, in case they get announcements. Now, we could get double game week announcements in a minute's time. Again, by the time you're hearing this, there's a slight stream delay, so make sure you've locked in your teams. Kepa to De Gea for a -4. No, I would consider that, actually. I mean, I don't have the money for it, but yeah. Yes, I probably would do that. You're the best FPL channel out there. I appreciate that, Joe. Guys, this is going to be the FPL deadline by the time you are probably hearing this. So go and check your teams. Make sure you've locked them in. There's not going to be chances for you guys to make any changes. This is my team. I'm not making any more transfers. I'm locked in. I'm not playing my triple captaincy as well. Now, let's see if the Premier League do what they are capable of doing and announce double game weeks at the FPL deadline. They've done it before and they will do it again, I am sure. Good luck to anyone going. Thank you all for joining. Again, videos will be back on Sunday evening. That is the deadline. Deadline has passed. Let's see what the Premier League are made of, shall we? Let's see what the Premier League are made of. Locked in. Locked in. We are locked in, ready to go. So we're going to stick around for a couple of minutes more until it goes to 6:31, and then I will be wrapping up the stream in case they announce anything more. Thank you all so much for joining. Massively appreciate the support in this stream. Good luck in the double game week. Hopefully yours goes better than I think mine is going to go. Hopefully we end up with a Mahrez return of some sort and he doesn't just blank. Completely throughout the whole double game week. It is 6:31. We have no double game week announcements. It looks like double game week 21 is not going to happen. Enjoy your weekends, everyone. Videos will be back on Sunday evening. Go and enjoy your Friday evening. Go and enjoy your weekends. I'll be on Twitter. I'll be on YouTube, TikTok, the lot. Thank you all for joining. Have a nice one, and I'll be back again. This is my team, and I'll be back again very soon. Bye-bye.